NPCs unlocked, new playable races and classes, those which have been hidden to all but the Game Master before, including, but not limited to, orcs, hobgoblins, goblins, and the intermingling betwixt. Simply go to our link tree and follow the path to RP Craft Publishing's Kickstarter to peruse their work of art, known as the Book of Conflict Brutal Races. This message has been brought to you by Jeeves in the Pink Plush Pig. Have a wonderful day. Hello, fair listener. Welcome and thank you for following our journey on metagaming by Rum Propelled Gaming. Fair warning, sometimes we are not safe for work, and others not safe for real life. Journey forth at your own risk. Now let's dive right back into Tarath through the campaign Many Polos. Yeah, fuck you, Craig.
You.
And I'm telling
Bitch.
you, bad rap.
Sasrilla says, and gently fuck you nicely.
Oh, only if you say it like that.
I was gonna try a little bit of a different intro this time too for my recap because I had been mulling this one over, but here we go. The hand of fate tosses, the die rolls, spins, turns, and a campaign starts and ends, leaving memories that become stories, stories that flow out into the infinite sea, painting it with legends. Legends wash up on shores throughout the infinite sea, fading to myth until myths are forgotten, and the campaign that gave it birth comes again, and the hand of fate tosses, the die rolls, spins, turns. Hitherto, we left the Shadow Seekers, Mame and Falkna were being drug away downstream by a few crocs, while Ash yeeted Enyo and Isel, her two-headed baby, onto the bridge, where they killed a froghemoth and fought off another croc, which swam away upstream. With no means to chase after them and healing exhausted from saving newest companions Falkna and Franklin from death, Flint, Ash, Franklin, Vomira, Ruvik all catch their breath on the bridge to Sasrilla Eflem's hut, while Ash quieted the screaming baby. Vomira retrieved her daggers and Ruvik skinned the froghemoth. Breathing more evenly now, the Shadow Seekers approached the hut, sopping wet with blood or water, as they were greeted amicably by a kind pink-clad old lady. She welcomes them into her hut for tea. The Shadow Seekers, obliging, meet Sasrilla in the flesh, all speaking of their adventures, telling her how they wound up in hell after refusing Manipolis' labyrinth test, along with many other stories told. She then opens up about a love triangle between her sister and now brother Zack, Maleficium, and a dwarf named Yovrata Babratatan, or Yovra, who rejected them both. Sasrilla explains she would be happy to share her key to the Acropolis if they can help mend her coven and the relationships between Zack and Maleficium. Reluctantly agreeing, Ash suggests some scheme to entrap Yovra with a disguised Enyo and Isel, or just Isel, as the changeling head who has potential brain damage might be removed. Still mulling it over, though, the Shadow Seekers contingent come back to the alehouse to clean up and rest after their harrowing foray to and back from the witch to the east in the 5th level of hell. On their way back, though, they run into Bob, who has his normal limbs back as a crocodile. Bob had been out exploring the life of a croc and hadn't noticed Mame, and Falkna, the missing companions, but had noted his disappointment of crocodile intercourse. Getting used to the deathly stench of this level of hell, they all lay their unwashed, stinking heads down to rest in the alehouse. Let's find out what happens this time. I felt like I was rushing them all before all of the other recaps. I was like, just trying to get them out. I was trying to out a bit differently. Yeah.
It works. It still works.
Get it done. Back to the fuckery.
Get to it now.
All right, so my baby has brain damage.
And oh yes, the tag at
Definitely.
the end there for Warren. The last thing that you recall was going to a large door with an extremely heavy key that you were trying to open the enormous door with the one key, but you realized you need 3 others, and this was the key that you had stolen from the dwarves. You speaking from your perspective, and after you had had some other shenanigans with them and Vomira and Ruvik as well, which I'm skimming across so that I'm not sharing any
I
hidden
gotcha.
detail there.
I remember.
But you are now waking up after you had been on like a 2 or 3 day bender in the bar.
2 or 3 days, no big deal.
Yeah.
Do I have Frederick's backpack?
You do have Frederick's backpack.
I am
And-
going.
Is he aware how he got it?
Oh yes, he's quite aware, although a little bleary-eyed because of the still feeling like he'd just woken up.
The bender.
Yeah, I've just been drinking with a robot who has been shouting profanity. I'm going to search the backpack for my crown.
The sense that you usually get of where your crown is not being felt currently. Even as you're digging your hand deep into the sack, you don't feel anything, or any of the pockets. You don't find anything that is crown shaped. You could roll an investigation for me though.
Uh,
13?
oh, yeah. Sorry, I wasn't at the bottom.
On the bottom of your roll list.
Yeah.
Okay. I see the I see that 13 though, other than so you were looking in, and the thing that catches your most interest being Warren, and it looks the most plain on the outside, but you can tell just from its minor intricacies is a puzzle box of some sort that you find in the in it. It looks to be about the size of the thing that you're looking for, or at least could contain it. Everything else seemed to be out, ropes, some pulleys, some other things that couldn't be the crown that you were looking for.
Just madly emptying the pockets.
I try to open the box.
Trying to remember what we said you would need to roll for that. Wouldn't be investigation, I don't think.
Why do I have a lumberjacking skill?
Who's lumber?
I believe that was from when you met
Fine.
Franklin the first time. You and Mame were trying to cut down a tree to use to open the keyhole.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, That
That's
makes
right.
sense.
That's awesome.
Uh,
Yeah, it's not the bondage or accounting skill that I want to know about. It's the lumberjacking one.
you might it would definitely be intelligence based, so similar to investigation at least. I guess just roll that for me for now.
Investigation.
Yeah.
Nice.
With the two, you and through the drunken haze, you shake it. You try to like move some spots or press some things that look evident on it, but to no avail. It still does not make a sound, click, shift, move, or anything in any way. It seems to be somehow a solid cube of metal. I think we said it was.
Hmm. Hmm. I don't know.
Been almost over a year since you've had it out. I feel like so. I might be at a
Yeah,
loss.
I kind of get just like was like I need a box to put this crown in, and then it just like lived in the backpack forever.
Yep. Is it still in Franklin's inventory or a little bit of other F? Frederick.
Yes, I believe so. I would need to hold on.
I was just making sure you hadn't shifted it over because it should be in there still.
Yeah, I don't know how. I don't know if I want to switch everything over. Yeah, probably should, but
Might be easiest, especially if you had. Yeah, it looks like you had a lot of stuff in the bag of holding.
So much.
yeah, I basically put everything that was in his actual backpack into the bag of holding.
Other than what he was wearing, it looks like. So
Yeah,
Including the sex candle.
yeah.
yeah. So you're looking at in your hands an 18-inch cube that radiates. So there is a bit of magical energy coming from it. That's why you're also suspecting the crown to be inside. It doesn't seem to be the same magics though that are related to the crown that you're used to.
Can
It's
I
five.
make an Arcana check?
An Arcana, yeah. It has 5 sides of the cube, which are blank, and the 6th one has a white curved teardrop with 13 black dots.
Is he doing this down in the tavern?
Yeah, I would say that he's waking up at a table. As you're sitting there fiddling with the cube, by the way, Thomas, you see across from you a turtle that's Tortle that you recognize as Franklin leaned up against the post, wake up abruptly as you hear something through the torque that you kind of ignore, and as you're still fiddling around with it, and you see Franklin trying to put his butt up to his torque, his butthole.
Let me just get this right there. Oh, too far. Can you see me now?
I'm
Can you see
just
me
going
now?
to ignore that situation. Let someone else deal with that.
You also see that, Ruvik. From up against the wall, you're woken up with Franklin. Can you see me now? And your eyes flutter open to Franklin that's not more than 10 feet away from you with their butt pressed up against their torque.
I do like a little like finger twiddle wave, like hi. And it's with my bone hand, so it's just a skeleton hand doing it.
Wait, what? Did I miss something? Why skeleton hand?
I got my head eaten by a ghost. Well, I think it was Ian. I hope it was Ian. I don't know what hole it was.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
But now
wonder-
I can make jalapeno poppers. He taught me how to cook.
A valuable skill.
the ridiculousness of the situation is just immense.
Yeah, strap
So-
in, big guy.
You uh, you are slightly distracted, I would say, by the hand at that point. Then, Thomas, and you do notice though. It is very evident, rather, that these auras that are coming off of the cube are protection of some sort and containment.
Okay.
Mhm.
Which were probably pretty evident to you, especially after your previous thinkings.
So protection means I can't break.
Wait,
it.
you keep saying Thomas. Are you talking to me? Because I'm like, what cube am I playing with?
Oh, yeah, that's an unforeseen thing. No, my current character is a I have an alias going on.
Okay,
His
because
name-
like the whole like interchanging between games right now is totally throwing me off. Because you're talking about Franklin with the butthole, and you keep saying Thomas, so I'm thinking of my other character. I'm like, I don't have any cube.
You do now. The DM said you have a cube. Now fiddle with it.
You want to play with my box?
So you guys did hear Thomas's voice coming through, other Thomas's voice coming through the Torques,
I think we should just
recognizably.
call me Warren because everyone knows my character. It's
I just keep doing it so that I keep track of it whenever you get into situations, which you tend to do.
Okay,
Yeah, how many people down here are after you now?
Yeah.
I think only the dwarves, but that means like all of them.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure we all came to agreement that like the dwarves were after all of us, unless you handled that situation.
No, they still hate us, but now we have to go make friends with one of them and make him think that he had a baby.
I'm
They don't
guessing.
remember. They don't hate me. They don't know me.
Yep, nobody knows Franklin. He's our key. He's gonna make all this happen.
Well,
I
dwarves
pull my
kinda
hand
hate
out of my
everyone to
pants.
begin with,
Hi.
especially these ones.
They are.
I'm guessing that that was meta because I think Flint and Ash, you're still upstairs with Bob and Enyo and Easel, and in separate rooms. As far as I remember, unless that situation's changed.
No, I think I'm still in the only private room, and I'm just like on the bed with the babies, and I would probably say Bob just probably like crawled up on the bed too. Like, yeah, I'm alive. I'm gonna sleep on this bed because I can see him like not passing up any chance for little comforts like that.
Oh no, definitely not. He would definitely have crawled up and there as much as he can. You're waking up to him though, and like the lower half of him is basically off of the bed, but he's still holding on with his front claws and pushing you up against the wall, probably with his upper body, because he's like a giant crocodile.
Trying to sleep in bed.
Yep.
Who's a good crocodile?
Would the puzzle box technically count as a lock?
No, there is no locking mechanism as far as you can tell, like that you would assume with a traditional key or a tumbler or so on and so forth. So you cannot lockpick it if that's what you're going to ask.
Yes.
Much to the very, very chagrin. I'm sorry. I know that's probably the higher skill for sure, but that one's a.
I would say that me and Bob make our way back downstairs.
Josh,
Hmm.
just to confirm, everybody else in the team heard the whole conversation that went on last session, right?
Yeah, it came through. Well, it came.
Okay.
Didn't it just come through your torque that you're wearing currently, Flint?
Well, Thomas is wearing the Manipolis
Flint.
torque. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Flint is wearing the Aliopolis
Oh,
torque.
Right. So that's why I'm saying the torque that you're wearing currently, that's actually where the sound emanated
Yeah,
from.
all of that would have came through the torque that Flint was wearing.
So
Mhm.
I have to replay that whole scenario now because I think what would have happened is you guys would have came downstairs and that's when it would have started happening right then.
Like when we would have heard sounds. Yeah, because Kat is just absolutely shit faced and was just speaking into the torque like endlessly.
I did give it a listen like an hour or two ago. But yeah, that's what I was just wondering if everyone knows that the baby's name is Jason. One of them.
Baby name?
50% of the baby.
Yeah, there was a discussion of I think it was is it Flint is the baby's dad from
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
allegedly.
allegedly.
Oh yeah, because Kat and his drunken super was just like, "You have a baby."
But the name of the baby is Enyo and Isel. That's why I was confused because you said Jason.
I know. I was
That's
like,
what he called
renaming
it.
the baby.
No, he
Whereas-
said tell Jason I love him.
Oh,
Flint
that
did.
has, yeah. That wasn't
No, he said James.
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 And yeah, that was Thomas.
Yeah.
Thomas said that. Yeah.
Got it.
Who's on third?
I don't know.
Do it.
I don't know. I just respond.
So I guess you guys
That's
came
really-
downstairs
That's
and
really old.
yeah, yeah. But it was so applicable to the scenario because it was like that was the whole discussion for the last 3 minutes.
Which name? Who?
But yeah, I guess you guys would have been coming downstairs when and distracted Warren. I'll continue with that for now. As Franklin, you're talking to Kat through Flint's torque. You're probably grabbing it like off of him, I would guess, and be like, "Hey, hi."
Hey, how's it going?
And then trying to. I don't know if you've tried to take it off of him before you put your butthole against it, but
I think I would start to turn around and attempt to do it just normally, but then like pause and be like, "No, that won't work. Here, can I borrow this?"
Yeah, see, I just totally imagined it, you just turning around and flashing your butthole right at Flint's face.
Here, can they see that? Yeah, I'll do that. Can they see this? Right in the middle of the bar.
I can tell you what, I can't unsee it.
Ash is very confused.
what's Ruvik's response to all of this? We haven't heard from you for a while. If he's there, if you're there. Hello.
We
Hello.
lost him.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can
Yes.
hear you now.
Okay, my bad. Sorry, I was saying stuff too, and you guys couldn't hear me. That sucks. Uh,
I do that all the time.
yeah, I had my headset muted, so I wasn't smacking you guys' ear. I turn away from the flashing butthole because it's like the last thing I want to see right when I get up. I'm really not sure what's going on, and then I notice and remember that I've got this big, huge piece of frog titan monster pelt that I need to do something with. And I start looking for, like, I remember that there's dwarves normally at the bar, and I start looking for Gruvik, the royal dwarf. Is he still in the bar?
Mm-hmm. He's seems to be sitting at his normal spot with some ledgers and such.
Is that here? I don't know.
At the corner of the bar.
There? Okay, yeah, I'm gonna start amidst all the commotion of Franklin flashing his butthole and Thomas messing with his box. I'm gonna slide right into the open seat right here and order 2 drinks from the ghostly bartender.
And without a word or a sound, 2 mugs float up right down in front of you, and the ghost takes 2 tendrils, puts it in each mug, and this orangish frothy liquid pours forth
It's orange today.
into the mugs.
And I'm go ahead and I'm gonna tap Gruvik on the shoulder and ask if I can get him a drink.
Well, I've been drinking all day, and he holds up his mug. Stuff's a little weird today, but it's all right.
Indeed, it does look a little weird, my friend, but drink's a drink. And I raise my mug and take a gulp.
And he raises his mug with you, sets it down on the counter before drinking it with you.
I'd like to have a little conversation if you've got if I could have a few minutes of your time.
Oh, I ain't going nowhere. These ledgers are boring as fuck. What's up?
Well, as I'm sure,
Or what's down? That's going to be the expression for them.
as I'm sure you've noticed, me and my unruly companions here, as I kind of nudge towards Franklin, flashing his butthole. We've been on quite a few adventures, and I've come across something quite interesting. Maybe you could help me with.
Perhaps. I mean, I'm always interested in something interesting.
Laying over there in the corner where I was sleeping is a pelt of a very interesting and dangerous creature we came across. And knowing the dwarves to be master craftsmen like I do, I was looking for someone that may be able to convert it into something useful on my journey.
He looks over your shoulder at somebody you can't see behind you and raises his eyebrows and then kind of shrugs and then shakes his head and then goes, well, how much are you talking here? Turning back to you. Because our work ain't cheap.
I understand that, my friend. Nothing's free, even in hell. What is it you desire? We've come across coin of many forms. I'm not sure that's what you're interested in.
Oh, it's definitely what we're interested in. Any shiny bits? Coin. You know, the normal sorts of... They don't hold much sway to any other folk, but amongst our own, we trade it as per the top grounders.
Well, how much would you charge for a service such as that?
What are you looking to have fashioned?
That's a large piece, if I'm to be honest. And maybe I don't know, maybe a chest plate or some protective gear, possibly. Not
He looks over at the bundle and looks back at you and goes, well, I'm not sure how much of it's there. But just he holds a thumb up and a pinky and kind of sizes you up, just eyeballing wise, and he goes, well, I think I got enough there to make you a full set of something if you're looking for armor, but not sure if that's the best way with that. It might be a good underset of armor. And he kind of looks over at it. What is it? Looks a little leathery.
yes, the fresh skin from a frog titan monster we came across. I'm not even sure what it is.
Oh, interesting indeed. Well, you've come to the right place, he says, and he scribbles some notes down on a page in front of him and turns back to you and goes, well, I've think we could work something up for you if you're looking for a full set in about a day or two, or get some of the other dwarves on it. And what are you wearing right now?
Standard chainmail, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Standard chainmail and a shield.
Okay. I might be able to add some other embellishments to it if you're, interested in something a bit more than just the hide. We have excellent metal workers. I'm sure you've heard.
I know you to be master craftsman. You are the expert. I will lean on your expertise.
That is wonderful. And he gets a grin and he scribbles a couple more things down on the page and he goes, "What do you say about 1,000 gold and we get you a full set of armor with the proper embellishments to them?"
You run a steep price, my friend. Yeah.
Well, good work deserves good
I
pay,
agree.
as we say.
I agree. Allow me to think it over.
Oh, certainly.
And I'm gonna go grab my mug and kind of head back over towards the rest of the group. Actually, both mugs since he already had a drink and I had 2 poured, so I just grab them both.
Yep.
As he's doing that, Thomas Warren slams his hands against the table and goes, "Does anyone in this place know anything about magic?"
Elijah.
Is any of the friends gonna respond? Because it looks like Warren's sitting at a table by themselves.
Does
by
Bob
himself.
perk up at the sound of this?
Bob is chewing on the bottom of a chair leg, like he doesn't give 2 shits about anything right now.
Savage.
I feel like Bob takes over whatever like the thing he's possessing instinct is.
Does he have an overwhelming urge to eat the turtle and do death rolls?
He has been eyeing the turtle, but you had told him
He
from the
looks to
start
me
that
so strangely.
the turtle is off limits. So
Yes, the turtle is our companion. Do not eat the turtle. The turtle.
He looks at me like my youth pastor did.
and you hear a from Bob.
Just gonna pat him on the head and assume that means he agrees to not eat
Yeah,
it.
he sounds a bit hungry there, Ash.
Someone should get him a steak.
I asked for food at the bar.
The ghostly figure behind the bar that had just fulfilled the drink request of Ruvik floats into the back room, and you hear a bunch of noises, as per usual, that are some unexplainable, but of course you hear the occasional animal noises that are coming from the back, and it comes out with this heaping plate of what looks like slabs of meat and a bowl on the side that seems to be of some sort of leafy greens that have a bunch of other colors in them. You're guessing some other root vegetables and whatnot, but you can't really tell because you're unfamiliar with all of them.
Okay. I'm gonna cut off a very small piece of the meat and keep the bowl of leafy greens for myself. And then I'm gonna set the stuff down in front of Bob and just start feeding him pieces of it.
You hear him, of course, seemingly satisfied, open his gaping mouth when you offer him the meat, and still making the sound of a growl, but more in the back of his throat, almost like a purr of a...
Yeah, and I'm just gonna toss the
Yeah.
things into his mouth so that I don't lose any fingers or nothing.
snaps down on each of the baits that you feed him. happily. It seems like.
While I'm mulling over my 1,000 gold decision, I remember that we've got a bunch of money in Volmira's bag of holding, and I kind of like kick her in the leg to try to wake her up.
She does not respond.
Yeah.
So drunk.
Kick her harder.
Ruthless little turtle.
It must be done.
Where am I gonna?
Let her know the wrath of the turtle anus.
Oh my goodness. So that song that Bo Burnham did, Jeffrey Bezos.
Turtle anus song?
No, Jeffrey Bezos.
Yeah.
Flint and I were singing that, but we replaced Jeff's name with Franklin's name. Because I see Franklin becoming quite a tyrant.
What, me? Oh, thank you.
Only if we teach him all the knowledge that we have together.
Exactly. He's gonna absorb all the best aspects
Like
and
for-
become the best of the bad campaign.
Like for the fact that like the first thing I said to him was like stab your friends in the back when you get the opportunity.
Yeah, I remember. And then a couple sessions later, you said you were my friend. Still waiting on that one.
You're a kid.
So our
I
The
heard
response-
someone ask about magic.
Yes.
I have I know magic sort of. I have divine magic from God. Does that help?
If it can get this box open.
Is it still dripping out of
Ooh.
you?
Wait, what's the oh,
Oh.
that you magicians? That's
Put a
good.
jalapeno popper in it.
But I'm bumped. It's spicy. I will approach them and now my arcana is -3, but my faith is strong. I will attempt to figure out this puzzle box thing. I don't know what I need to roll. Is that an arcana check or is that
if you're just
a Jeebus check?
if you're just observing it, I would say Arcana.
Mhm.
And or if you're trying to really like, if Warren is letting you hold it and you're actually trying to, fiddle with it, I would say that's a bit more of an investigation.
Okay, they're both -3. Let's go for arcana.
I really want Franklin to have a skill that's magic in quotation marks.
Hell yeah, I got a 0. What's this thing? I drop it.
I
Oh
still
shit!
don't know if Warren would give it to you to hold or not.
Oh yeah, well,
But you would look at it and go, well, that's a nice cube. Well made.
that's pretty.
What are all those symbols mean? Perhaps even.
Is it yours?
Yes.
Nice. Well, that's my job. I wander away. Hey, do you want a jalapeno popper before I go? I hold out what appears to be a fresh batch of jalapeno poppers in one of those little red plastic trays with the red and white checkerboard paper.
And
They're
it's
freshly made.
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Pop
kind of
them in
like
my mouth.
wander over and try to snag one.
Oh, that of course. Here, have more than one. Well, actually, hold on. Are we gonna take a long rest?
you guys
I
just
we just
took
did.
Oh,
Yeah,
then
so you-
here you can have one jalapeno popper. Now remember, this is a magic jalapeno popper. It'll heal you for 1 HP.
I appreciate it, my friend. Pop it straight in my mouth.
Is
Nice.
that a temporary hit point until it comes out and then it burns you?
Oh, Then you
It's,
gotta pay 1 hit point.
Yeah.
It's borrowed.
Worth it.
I'm gonna say I noticed like all the commotion with the box and Franklin.
And you would have
Uh,
heard Warren saying, "Does anybody know any magic too?" I don't know if you'd gotten a response to
Drunkenly
that.
and belligerently yelling that in the bar.
Yes, slammed down on the table. I was presuming you guys would be the first to respond, like, "Yeah, you dumbass, we work with you all the time with magic," kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna wander over after having fed Bob, and I'm just gonna be like eating my salad, the baby strapped to my chest. Wait, where is Warren?
He's got a makeover.
I know. All right, that's what he looks like now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna wander over and I'm gonna look at this box and I'm like, "You're trying to open this thing?" It doesn't look like it opens. I do want to examine it magically.
I look at Ash and I say, very slurred. Slurred? No.
And cursive.
Cursive.
Hurry.
I'm speaking in italicized cursive.
Want to kind of wander over there too, just to observe what's going on.
You know how we had that like shared magic or like experience thing? Whatever that was with our like
Oh yeah, that trippy dream.
yeah.
Yeah,
Wait, you had that dream too?
it was a chicken
What?
and some lady that has a terrible desk job.
What?
Oh,
What is a? Oh, I'm starting to. I'm starting to
A
remember
desk
now.
job.
Yeah.
I don't know
I
how she does
really,
it every
I
day.
really thought that was just a really strange, weird kind of hell dream I had.
Well, we are in hell. I mean, maybe it
Oh,
visited
good.
upon us all.
Yeah, but isn't that like the second time it's happened? Or like third?
It is the second time. It did not end up happening the third.
Oh,
the third
yeah,
time.
we
That's
had-
the second event because we
we were gone at the end of that night.
yeah, we
Yeah.
were shit-faced in real life because somebody brought a bucket of Jello
Yeah.
shots. Darn
Right.
them!
Yeah.
I truly hope they never do it again.
Anyway,
Yes.
I know this box opens.
I got a 15 on Arcana.
You look at it and are 100% sure that it is protected, and you have no idea, at least from these cursory searches, how to undo those protections.
So I'm eyeing up the box and I see all that. And I'm like, I don't think I can figure out how to open this. But I turn back to Bob, and I yell towards him. I'm like, "Hey, do you know anything about metal magic boxes?"
I'm assuming you're casting Speak with Animals.
Yeah, I will cast Speak with Animals just as a level 1 spell.
And as you finish your incantation of it, you hear his. Well, mistress, the box that you're holding right there, I've seen a few of those. Only a handful at best in my entire existence. And, well, I have to say, I don't think I've ever seen any of them open.
So you wouldn't have any idea how to take a crack at it?
Well, I mean, if you're talking literally, we could try throwing it on the ground. If you're talking figuratively, maybe not so much. I think I got those backwards, but this chair leg's giving me some trouble.
Wonder.
Just every table he walks
Oh,
up to, he
Lord,
just starts chewing
chair
on the
legs.
chair.
I wonder if the witches may know something about him.
I know. I hate to ask them for more favors.
Maybe we go tell the little cute old one more stories. Maybe she'll do us a favor. She seemed to enjoy our company.
I want to just like fiddle with the box. Like I'm gonna sit down with it and just start like turning the box over and like looking at all the sides and seeing if anything moves.
Do you allow this, Warren?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, look at.
What do I roll for that? An investigation?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. 8.
You realize that 5 of the sides have nothing on it, and the 6th side has some engravings on it. And to reiterate, those are a white curved teardrop with 13 black dots around it.
A white curved teardrop.
Looks like nothing I've ever seen before.
With how many black dots?
13. And it is, you can tell too with your holding it now that it is for sure got to be mithril, because the thing is sturdier than it even looks, even though it's just a hunk of metal. It's got some no other markings on it, but it is quite robust.
Have you guys gone to see any of the witches yet?
We've actually visited 2 of them.
Yep.
One of them opened up my baby, and then the other one suggested I cut one of my baby's heads off.
Among other things.
Fun times!
And as you guys are talking amongst each other about the cube, a wizard-looking person with a robe and a staff, no fun hat though, and no pipe, stands awkwardly behind a couple of you, saying, with their hand raised slightly and their head down, I know a bit about magics.
I turn around and look at this person. Is this a person I recognize as a sack?
It is a person you recognize. They've been sitting in the bar. They've had a few quips while other people have been coming in and out, but otherwise have just been drinking and enjoying the neutrality of the alehouse, it seemed like. But you would probably not know for sure who they are. They never really introduced themselves.
Okay. I'll be like, do you now? What is your name?
Well, I go by Zach these days.
It's
Oh my-
Zach.
My other name is much more feminine than the one that I wear these days. But I do know a good bits about magic. What was the inquiry about?
I need to get this box open.
And I'm assuming you hold it up for him to see.
Come closer,
And,
take a look. I'll take a step back so he can slide it into the table if he wishes.
He peers around you at first, and then goes to take a step towards it, kind of with his hand on his chin, squinting at the box. That seems to be some sort of entrampment. Something is stuck inside and won't is not allowed out. I might be interpreting the spell slightly different than how it was written, but
What would you say is trapped in there?
Is that?
Can you open it?
Oh, probably not. I'd have to hold it and do a full inspection of my own. It might take me a few hours. I've got quite a lot of methods in which to test it, though.
Would you run those tests here at the tavern?
I have been making the tavern my home, as it were. Though I am welcome at if I do need to get some new or other materials at my sister's, Sasura, she goes by. I'm not sure if you've met her yet or not, but she lets me borrow some of her research implements.
You're still friendly with your sister?
Well, that sister, of course. She's such a. Oh, she was hard. She is one to be, one hard to be mad at. So kindly.
I know how siblings can be.
We actually just did recently meet her, and she was quite kind and quite nice to have a conversation with.
Ah, yes. Then you know what I speak of. Then, especially with such good tea she brews.
It was quite nice, very refreshing, especially cough cough in a
I
place
must-
like this. Trying not to say this very
I must
loudly so I don't
say, I
offend
enjoyed
anyone.
the tea.
Oh, by the way, did you ever drink any of those drafts?
Yeah.
Ruvik?
Finished the one after I ate Franklin's jalapeno popper.
So you want to roll me a
Sure,
Constitution
no
save
problem.
on that?
I think
drink,
I
then?
said that when I was muted.
Oh, that would make sense.
13.
So, as you take a pull off of this drink, you get this very sweet, almost earthy, and then your brain kind of clicks. Is it carrot? Fermented? Oh, it's not bad because it has some. Not only is the sweetness coming forth, but now you're getting these yeasty, hearty notes and some sort of fruity undertone with a, almost a sour after punch from the drink itself.
If ever I get out of this place,
And you
remember the drinks. Man, they're good.
and you are not getting you did not get even past. It did not affect you yet. You are still completely sober. But you can tell there was alcohol.
Carrot is a
for sure.
nice touch.
And Zach kind of holds out a hand. Shall I investigate further?
Warren looks at him with suspicion and goes, "No, I think I'll try to figure this one out on my own."
Oh, I understand. I understand completely. It looks like an expensive piece. I am quite curious what's inside. If you ever do find out, please let me know. It's
I know exactly what's inside.
Oh, you do. You
Me.
do. What pray tell is it?
Something of much importance that was taken from me.
Ah. Well, I can relate to that sort of sentimentality. But I would say that you should probably no, definitely pursue those matters on your own. I think you'll find much more success that way.
That sounds ominous.
Does Ash say that out loud?
No. No, like that was just like my thought. I was like, that sounds very, very ominous. Like, yeah.
Zach was once a witch.
Warren is going to investigate it one more time before putting it away. For
Right.
now.
Go ahead and roll.
Here, let me help you. Look, you gotta look at it like it's a box.
I'll speak up and not even think about what I say. Just, why don't you just Google it?
What?
Why do I
We
know
all
what
look
that
at you.
is?
Google. Can the Google? Oh.
Wait, I don't.
Wait,
Oh,
didn't someone have a phone?
Oh yeah.
Them
Somebody shysted a
Elmira.
phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vomira shysted a phone off of Bree.
Magic talking box.
so then we all. So since we all have our player knowledge and we know what Google is, it's like, well, who had the phone? Let's break every fourth wall we can now.
Wait,
Right.
Are we on like the sixth
Right.
wall by now? I don't know.
Yeah.
Huh.
We've made so many walls and we're just kicking them down.
Frederick didn't know how to open the box, did he?
No, he was never informed. He never wanted to know. He got a box from a box of. It was a chest of desire, I believe, and was only asking it for something to contain and hold the crown in, and that's what he got. And it was open at the time, and then he put it in it, and it closed magically with no instructions provided.
Can I roll a history check to see if a teardrop and then 13 other somethings? Hold on.
You're just gonna start crying over the box. I want it! I want it! I want it! I want it!
What? A teardrop with 13 black dots comes to mind from, I don't know, something I've seen before.
You can roll a history check. 15. The very first thing that comes to mind is the understanding and knowledge that you are on the 5th level of hell, and you've been told that there are 13 levels of hell. Uncommonly believed there were only 9, but you know now from being in hell there are 13, and that is the only thing that really comes to mind. You're not quite sure what any of that means, but as you're looking at the box, you do see that the third dot from the left seems to be more superficial than the others, almost as if it's fading away. And the 5th one that you know that you're in, you count down to them, hasn't changed. Yeah, you guys have only been on straight onto the 3rd level, right?
Yeah,
And
we
now
haven't
you're
been
on-
on that many levels.
And then now you're on the 5th. Yep.
I touch the one that's fading away.
And you can kind of feel that it is more of the rest of them are all these indents in the front, but this one is more of just a coloration, almost a discoloration on it, rather than an indent on the box.
Hmm.
Can I make a just a roll to say it, like I just randomly press all the dots?
You can, but it doesn't. I can tell you right now that even if you did press all of those dots, nothing would happen because you've been doing more or less that with the investigations, I would assume.
I'm guessing I've also shook the box in those investigations.
Oh yes.
Mm-hmm.
So you said you met a nice witch.
Yes. She was quite
Sto-
nice, and she offered us tea, and we had
Almost
good
story
conversation.
time.
Zach,
Wait, should we tell the story in front of Zach?
Zach just kind of nods and says, "Well, if you ever need me again, you know where to find me," and goes back over to their table, which seems to be there's a full turkey sitting in front of it. that they
We
start
appreciate
ripping
your
apart to eat.
we appreciate your help,
Wow.
Zach. Thank you.
Zach's hungry.
Hungry boy.
Gonna go right through him.
That's also one of the people we're looking for.
Must be growing.
Saying that. I'm saying that to the group
That's
around the
right.
table. Kind of a hushed tone.
Yeah. This was what. Yeah. Almost whispering, just enough for our group to hear. That nice good wish we were talking about was telling us that Zach is her brother and that her brother and her sister were in love with the same dwarf and they both got turned down, and we were trying to find a way to get them back together so that they would help us.
The dwarf or the two?
The
sis-
dwarf and either the witch.
Yeah.
I think the witch that opened my baby. What
Um,
was her name?
Maleficent. Maleficent.
There you go.
Maleficium?
Thank you.
Maleficium. Yeah.
They claim to have the final keys to the large door. So we're trying to help her out, see if we can get
Well-
the last keys.
When I was rooting around in my backpack of infinity, did I notice the shipment I have?
Of sex pillows and candles?
Because I didn't know.
Is that what you're calling a shipment?
Yeah, I
Is that
just had
how-
it labeled as shipment because it was a delivery we were supposed to make.
It wasn't a delivery you were supposed to make. I think you.
Those were all the things we bought.
Yeah.
But we were supposed to drop them off.
On Dune, but like not to anyone specific. And we were supposed to test out the candles, the sex candles, and then report back our findings to the warehouse manager.
And you do notice, those things when you're kind of, especially because, there's, I forget exactly the number off the top of my head, but I think it was like 50 pillows or maybe 50 candles and like 25 pillows or vice versa.
25 candles because there was 25 candles at the shop and then we went to pick up the rest at the warehouse.
Yeah.
And then I think everybody got 2 of the sex candles. Hold on.
One of those, but it was the challenge with that was that not everybody wanted them. If I remember correctly, I don't think.
But
I
I was
think-
carrying everyone's stuff because I could.
Yeah, because I do remember that because I had 25 candles in my pack, and then not Franklin, Frederick.
Hey, what
took
do you
the
do
other
with these?
Frederick took the other 25 candles, and it says I have written down here that Kat had 3 of those sex candles. Hold on, let me go to Kat's character sheet.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Kat, you did take 3 of the candles. I thought too because May didn't want one, and someone else didn't want one. Which I thought Frederick was the one that had abstained, but I couldn't recall.
I don't think I took anything for personal use, but I was just carrying
Yeah.
all the shit.
Yeah,
So-
you just had it because of your backpack.
So
Um,
Frederick may not have had any
What's the
sex candles in that regard.
That's the thing. I'm trying to see if he took them or not. Because I don't. Okay, I don't have the sex candles in Cat's inventory. I only have the 25 lavender candles.
Because I remember like
So does that mean that Warren now has 3 sex candles?
Maybe.
Because they're not in my inventory. It says candles that intensify orgasm. 3 of them.
That's them. That's them.
Burn and hunk alive.
Yep.
No, this is what's in my notes. That's not in my inventory. I wrote
I
it
apologize.
down that's what it was. Gives the card that will record the holder's thoughts when they press their thumb to a certain point.
see
That was the card that you would
Wants
got.
us to test out these candles and give feedback.
what I
Yeah.
remember happening is that we got to the warehouse, we opened up the crate, and then Frederick just started loading all the stuff into his backpack.
Right. And I think the candles were handed out afterwards to
Yeah, because like after we picked
individual
up everything we
people.
bought, that's
Indi-
when he was like, "Hey, do you guys want to be like my guinea pigs for sex candles?"
And I think Kat, what you just may not have transferred them into your inventory because they could have fit in your bag for sure.
Yeah. Definitely.
I think that's all that happened in that particular case because I remember, like I was saying, I don't think Frederick or Mime wanted that candle after having been explained what it does. Even
Yeah,
though
I can see Frederick not wanting that.
at the time he was interpreting that you guys were going to an orgy with such a large order of candles and pillows.
I mean, it's not a bad determination. Okay, I'll update my cat's inventory right now so that I remember this.
No worries. See, yes, you did see the pillows and lavender candles. Warren, to answer your question.
All right. So wait, I have some or do I not?
You do, just not the ones that we were just talking about.
All right.
Just not those 3.
I pulled those out and I was like, could these help in that
A couple pillows and a couple candles.
Situation?
What's it? Oh wait, the getting them back together. I mean, probably if we stage like a scene, we could just set down like the pillows and like the candles, and then just lead them over to it. Like, come on,
I did not
there's
see
a
this is
surprise
where we
here
were
for you
going
guys.
with this. I actually kind of like that.
Who wants to cream themselves?
I guess
So it ties together really well.
Yeah, I wish in that regard you'd gotten the candles.
I guess the question is, do we?
We just light the candles and just let them, and just don't tell anyone. We just like it's just for atmosphere.
Yeah.
I tried burning one and it just made me really sweaty.
It made my underwear tight.
I don't wear underwear.
Oh,
I thought we already explained this when he was trying to do the thing with the
I'm a free-ranging turtle.
As we all were shown just a couple of minutes ago.
Yes.
Okay.
I rolled to see if anybody else could overhear your conversation when you guys were talking low about the situation, and no one seems to give a fuck. They're just still chilling with their drinks and eating what foods they have.
So I guess the question is, do we try to since we already know where Zach is, do we try to convince him to make up with his sister, or do we still look for the dwarf?
I suppose we could
Well, I
talk
mean-
to Zach first and be like, "Hey, don't you want to like make good with your sister and be a happy coven again and cast spells together as the 3 spellcasters? Because can't say witches now."
But if, yeah, I mean, we should get at least like his side of the story, right?
Josh, when
Yeah, it couldn't hurt. It couldn't hurt.
Zach was over at our table, like inspecting the cube. Like I should have asked this earlier, but like, could we notice if like he was like noticeably sad or depressed or like indifferent?
Insight. It's a roll that you don't get to use too much. There we go. 19.
Impossible.
That's for me. I want to notice too. I want to do stuff.
Me.
I drink and I know things. That should be Warren's slogan.
Borrowed from Tyrion Lannister. I mean, what?
Hey, I think I know what that is.
I understood
that
that.
guy.
Death Job Lady, watch that show. What the show? Oh, I'm so confused.
Television is, but I want one.
Man, that one guy who was standing in the background must have not watched that show. Or maybe I just didn't care enough because me and Frederick were beating the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
Well, with a 19 and a 17, you're both quite sure that Zach was excited to have something to do, and that he did seem a little sad that he couldn't help in some way with the situation. So was a little sad when going back to their table, or his table, to eat and drink.
A little dejected.
But not overtly so. It was more of just a little slumping of their shoulders.
So do we know what this dwarf looks like?
I
Short.
think he's little and
beard.
hairy.
I'm glad me and Johnny are on the same page.
Yeah, you guys are both not wrong.
So I had the thought that we could convince the dwarf, I don't know, get to talking with that dwarf in particular, and get Bob into that dwarf's body.
Oh.
Or trick the dwarf into thinking that he had a baby with Maleficium. And then,
Do we
like,
only
trick-
do we only have to reconcile one
that's-
of the like?
I was gonna mention
left
that
triangle
like they all
guys or
have to be
all of them?
happy because like the siblings need to be
yeah.
together. So whatever we decide to do, both of them have to be okay with it.
What if we could just trick them long enough to get
I'm
the
thinking
keys
we
and
can-
get the door open?
I think we convince them both that the dwarf
like
is
that idea.
trash for playing them both.
I mean, he is.
What if we convince them both that they should just forget about the dwarf, or like have him killed, and then we could like kill the dwarf, like because they already hate us anyway.
What if we let Bob
it,
take
not
over
it.
someone's body, not mine, and woo the wenches so they forget about?
I have another option. I really like the idea. So nothing brings siblings together more than
Agreed.
hatred of a common foe, right?
Well, why do we have to have Bob take over someone? Why can't one of us just woo?
Because Bob has experience.
well, I was just thinking that Bob could be in the body of the dwarf long enough
Right.
to get with and marry or seal the deal with the witch in order for us to get the
Won't the other-
keys.
But that's
And
only one of the witches. You gotta get all three of them to like each other. I was going to say have Bob take over the dwarf and then convince the witches to all be in the same location and then have Bob as the dwarf do something like real bad that they all see, right? And then instead of fighting over him,
I wonder
they're
if he's
just
got
fighting
skeletons in
him.
the closet already. We just need to find out what they are.
Just dig
Yeah.
up some dirt on the
Right.
dwarf. I mean, he does. He played 2 witches to the point that
Yeah.
one of
So-
them became a wizard.
Yeah, so maybe someone needs to maybe we need to get someone to seduce the dwarf, but and get the dwarf to try to seduce them like a real Chad, and then in invisibility, it's like visible of the other 3 witches and warlock. And then they'll be like, "Ah, he's such a jerk. Let's talk about how much he's a jerk," and then they'll be
I
friends
think
again.
we're
And then we don't have to chop off James's head.
Is there
Then
no
everyone in the Starbucks clapped.
does, does isn't there like memory altering like magic?
no, that's
I'm
mean,
level
yeah.
4.
That is beyond my skills.
I'm this many.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, there is magic like that, but not magic that I know.
We
I
need to alter
could.
their mind the old way.
I might be able to seduce a dwarf, but I don't know how that will help us in this situation.
Well, no, I mean, it's about when and where you seduce the dwarf, right?
Well, why don't you?
Like-
Well, okay, so why are we focusing on the dwarf? The dwarf is like the one part of the situation that we could probably get around.
You think?
Well, he's the linchpin of why they're fighting.
Well, why don't one of us seduce Zach and someone else seduce the fucking thing, and we pretend along, blah blah blah, until
I think that
We
plan
get the
came up
keys.
last time, actually. Like,
Yeah, I guess it's really a question of, do you want to trick the witches or do you want to help them?
this is the evil.
I'm
camp.
gonna take notes morally. I pull out my notepad or my scout's guide.
I'm willing to do
Wouldn't
whatever
give it a choice
would
between.
be easiest. I do not care if it's helping them or tricking them.
So what you're saying is we can either trick them or we can try to convince a dwarf to like have a threesome with them. Do you know how hard dwarves are to convince about shit?
how?
Oh, I don't
how
wanna know
about
how
the-
hard dwarves
How
are,
about
sir.
this, guys? How about we find the dwarf
I-
and find out what he wants, and then let's go from there. 'Cause if we can,
I agree.
Okay. Wait,
Oh,
so
we should
oh my
talk to
God.
Zach
agree.
first too, right? She's right. He's
I
right
agree.
there.
yeah, I
No,
was gonna say we
let's-
should.
Let's just go find the dwarf. What do dwarves like? Dwarves like
Rock
Money.
stone.
Ooh,
money.
rocks. Yeah.
Why don't we
Other
bribe dwarves
dwarves.
to be like, hey, can you just like make up with them for like a week?
Long enough for us to get what we need, and then as soon as we skedaddle, you just go back to doing you, bro.
You can do whatever the fuck you want after that. We just need you to do this one
maybe
thing.
incurring
and
the
we'll pay
wrath
you.
of witches if we go that route.
Yeah.
They don't have to know.
Yeah, they don't have to know that we.
If
We're the-
we're out of this realm of hell by the time they find
That's
out, we'll be
That's
fine.
a big if.
Everything's
for
fine.
Thomas.
Okay, what's the other options? We try to
Hold
convince a dwarf of doing something he doesn't want to do. That's not going to fucking happen.
If
Yeah,
they're all
we-
dead, then no beef, right?
That's
Hey, we
true.
tried to fight him once, and we did not do so well.
Oh.
See, you need to stop trying to fight him. You need to try to like get close and then like stab him in the back.
That's fighting.
Well, if you do it correctly, there is no fighting involved. It's more of a
Be
swift motion. And then
Got it.
Mm.
I don't know, guys. Let's talk to Zach. But my vote is on making the dwarf look bad and getting the 3 siblings to hate him so that they make up. But I think we need more information.
Yeah, more information will definitely help this situation.
I jump down off of the table. I straighten myself out and I say, "Let's get this ball rolling." And I walk over to Zach. Come on, guys.
Oh, brother.
I follow. I follow. Frank.
Yeah,
I'm guessing there's like several drinks at the table that Thomas is sitting at.
Oh yeah. If most of which are empty, if that's what you're referring to from the past few days.
Yeah, is there any of them that still have like alcohol? Like I just consolidate into 1 cup.
Oh yeah,
Ooh.
yeah. There's definitely some, and they're all of varying colors. It seems like, with the last one being a third of the way full orange. There's a purple, and then there's a couple dark, deep, almost black ones.
Our boy's about to taste the
Josh,
rainbow.
during our
I'm
little
sure
Mickey
conversation
will
at
be
our
fine.
table, I finished that second orange drink that I had.
You'll want to roll me a Constitution, and Warren's gonna want to roll me a Constitution
Oh, I got
with
lucky.
disadvantage.
Yay. Saving
Lucky.
throw or just Constitution?
Saving throw.
With disadvantage. Did that roll correctly? Probably not. All right, no, it didn't. Yay.
Hey, am I rolling with disadvantage, Josh? Okay,
No, you're
Yeah.
good.
that's right. I am.
You're drinking the same drink that you were before. So
Carrot,
you had
carrot ale. Yeah.
the same savory carrot notes.
Oh
and-
no.
Ruh-roh.
With a natural 1, you
I stand up and take a swig and I fall the fuck over.
not quite. You gain you're tipsy now currently, and you gain advantage on charisma based checks and saving throws. Accomplishing what you were presumably going out for. But you do kind of feel your stomach almost want to reject what you were just drinking, except that you know that for some reason when mixing them, there was a combination that made the alcohol stronger somehow.
Well, you made a super drink.
Hey, at least it wasn't Manny Polis's piss that you guys were drinking before.
I kind of post up at the corner seat at the bar and give a little nod to the
Yeah.
bartender to try to get one more drink before the storytelling starts.
It just stares at you, the ghostly figure behind the bar. Or rather, out in your
May
guys'
I have
general
one more
vicinity.
drink, barkeep?
With the audible response, it seems that it understood it and grabs a mug floats up onto the counter, and while the mug is floating up and it's filling up with the frothy orange liquid again, the table that you were sitting at, Warren, the ghost that's in the middle of the bar, goes over to and sucks up each of the mugs that you had been sitting there at the table and spits them all out towards the counter and the bar that the other one's sitting at. Perfectly shining, shimmering clean, it seems like, and into the ghostly figure, which it floats back out under the bar.
I kind of grimace with
That's,
disgust.
That's one way to bust a table.
And in that moment, Warren has a really bad idea. He's like, I don't know if I could just like sip on this. It's going to make me puke.
Frank it.
So there's only one real thing to do, which is to chug it.
Chug, chug, chug.
Chug, chug,
Jake,
chug.
Jake,
So
Jake.
he's just going to slam this. Whatever.
All the
Yes.
rest of the suicide drink.
Nice.
Yep. Kamikaze.
Yeah.
Whatever.
All right. Constitution with disadvantage,
wow.
of course.
17.
Good.
Ready for its vile taste, you drink the rest of it. Maybe not so vile, perhaps necessarily, because there are some things that are playing off of each other very well. The sweetness is kind of overwhelming, perhaps, though, as it goes down, but you're ready for it this time, and you just choke it down with no problem. Not increasing the level of drunkenness.
It's my
He's still
boy.
tipsy.
All right.
So you walk up, Franklin, and said,
Hi, my name's Franklin Turtle. Would you like a jalapeno popper?
as Zach has got half of a turkey leg in his mouth, looks over at the thing that you have in your hand and goes with the turkey leg in his mouth. I don't know what a jalapeno popper is, but it looks good.
It's delicious. Imagine, if you would, a hard, crunchy outer shell, kind of like fried dough, but then on the inside, it's creamy with like a cheese-like texture, and it's got if you've ever heard of a jalapeno pepper, it's got jalapeno pepper in it. Well, it's a jalapeno pepper stuffed with the cheese, with the breading on the outside, and it's deep fried. And I made this fresh and hot, and you just seem like you could use a friend.
Well, a friend I could use. Taking the turkey leg out of his mouth, he says, "That does sound rather intriguing. I'm not sure of all of the words you said, but cheese and crunchy sound like a good combination to me."
I don't know. I'm unsure of the words that I was saying too most of the time. I'll trade you here. But I could have a turkey leg, and I'll give you these jalapeno poppers.
I mean, that's a fair deal. Here, I haven't gnawed on this one. Rips off the other side and hands it to you.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I take a good chunk of strip off, and I shove it up by my shoulders underneath my shell for my friends to have a snack. Do you mind if I have a seat here? Oh, these are also my friends. I don't know if you've met them yet, but we saw you had a turkey and figured we'd sit and talk.
Persuasion with advantage.
Yeah, persuasion. Come on, Poppy. I have a +2. I don't know how to do advantage.
Just roll twice. Or you can
Roll
right click.
Nope. I'm just gonna roll twice.
That works.
2 natural ones. Let's go.
Ow!
Wanna-
In the actual fuck. Oh Jesus.
Ouch.
Oh, we're gonna take this one with a failing in success. You go to sit down you go to pull out the chair, and you trip yourself and roll
What?
under the table.
Whoa,
Just put
whoa,
my head in my hand. I just shake my head and put
And,
my head in my hand.
Zach looks down, and goes, "Well, you're more than welcome to have a seat, but I don't think that's the most comfortable place to do so."
Not normally. Stools are hard to get on because, they're really tall and they don't really have a side handle thing. So if I get on, sometimes I tip over. And then if I fall over like I am right now on my back, I can't get up. Can you please tip me?
Well, sure. And Zach kind of like
Kick.
less than gently kicks
Yeah.
you
Yeah, there you
out
go.
to the other side of the table.
Whoa,
that's-
whoa.
That's my friend you just kicked there.
Anyway, these are my friends.
Hey, Franklin.
It's okay, help me.
I have a
Steady was
Yeah, I'm
stuck.
good.
Franklin.
Yeah, I fell on my back.
Can I have a jalapeno popper?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I gave him the jalapeno poppers. I gotta make some more. Why don't you guys get acquainted, and I will be right back with several more matches for a side. But why don't you before I do, Zach, here, just try one. Let me know if you like them, and then I know how much to make.
As Franklin introduces us as his friends, Warren pipes up from the back and says, "Acquaintances." Like the raging asshole he is.
And
That might have just saved your life in the future, Anna, when you were down next to me on death saves.
I know. I keep trying to use the word companions.
I'm glad I can cause such chaos.
It is a gift
by
of
doing
yours.
almost nothing.
Oh.
and Zach
I knew I was
goes,
such a natural at being a raging asshole.
Practice.
well, I mean, after taking the bite, you hear that, and chewing, kind of looking off into the distance, and well, that's quite excellent. That's a bit of
Right?
a woo, woo.
It's got
They are
a,
good.
it's got a
I
kick.
say-
Yeah.
Oh, it's been a while since I've had any spice. You don't find it very much in these, especially in this part of hell. Usually have to outsource that shit.
It's really surprising because it's really hot down here.
Oh, you find this hot? Heh. At least you're not on the third level.
Oh, what's that?
Or
What's
wait,
down there?
Is that the second level or the fourth level? I think it's the fourth level. Apologies, correction.
Wait, hold on. Hey guys, before I leave, do we know anything else about the levels of hell that we have to go through? Maybe this is a good time we can learn some shit.
We've been through the third level, and we freed Loki, and that's how we ended up here. And Loki gave me a statue. Oh,
I
Nice.
joined after
Thinking back on that, I'm
they
gonna
showed
dig in
up
my
on
bag.
the 5th level of hell, so I don't have much more info.
Say, maybe we could can you tell us just like real quick, just like a real quick little brief overview of like what are the different levels of hell? What's all of them? I'll just make some jalapeno poppers right now. Here, hold on. I reach into my shell to grab some ingredients.
Better ingredients, better pizza. Jalapeno poppers.
I was trying to go back to. I thought I did make a map. I know, but I didn't. I never did upload it. This would be a
Dang,
good
dude.
time. Well, specifically for hell, and I think it's because no one's ever asked about the levels of hell with
The rest.
any real interest. To try and figure out how to go through them. So yeah. Well, there are 13 levels of hell. Most of which coincide with worldly dysfunctions, if you will. Especially the first 9. The last 3 are rather unique, though. And... Or 9 plus. So 4, apologies. Math is not my strong suit.
Right
And
either.
briefly, though, they go limbo, lust, gluttony, greed, and anger, which you find yourself currently in, heresy, violence, fraud, and a frozen disfiguration of what the above world is like. And then you've got the 10th level that we're going down to of maggots and decay. 11 is defense with mountains of tree blades that eviscerate folk, and then Avicii, a hell of most grievous sins. That's the 12th level. Cage souls of at least 200,000 usually at a time, in a puzzle Rubik's Cube of sorts. And then the 13th level, which is a beautiful, immaculate forest. So I've been told. No one's actually ever made it there. It's also where Manipolis is encased in a cage of some sort. The magics behind such are beyond me. It is god level there.
Hey, I thought Ballypolis was a place.
No, Manipolis is a god. He's the god of the underworlds.
Oh, can you be inside him?
Can I do what?
Yeah, I thought it was a place. What? Was it? Is the other campaign located in? Or no, that was Aeoliopolis, right?
Mhm.
This is the Manipolis campaign.
Correct.
Okay, never mind. I was mistaken.
You would know too, as a general lore. It may not have come up either, but as a general lore thing for those who don't recall or haven't heard, Manipolis is encased inside of Tarith. And Tarith is the dead corpse of a god, Alalopolis, who sacrificed his consciousness to trap Manipolis.
Oh, talk about family drama.
And create the world that you guys
So
all
the fifth
live on or
level
in
of hell
in
is
this particular
anger.
case.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
That's why there's so many dwarves here.
Oh, that was a good one.
Oh, I wasn't making a joke. That's what they told me before I robbed. Or,
Before activities ensued.
yes, before activities ensued. Speaking of activities, is there any way I use Thieves' Cant to say this to Ash? Is there any way that activities could help us in our current situation? Meaning, is there a possibility that we could just steal the keys?
I reply back that I have thought immensely about this and have been trying to figure out a way in which we could. As I feel it would be the easiest option.
Well, it seemed to work out good for the first piece of the puzzle.
The next two pieces of the puzzle are, I believe, magically hidden.
Who knows detect magic?
Not I.
Let me see. Maybe I do.
Oh, not I.
Let me see if clerics have the ability to, because I could maybe just swap some spells out. Dispel magic 5e. I'm using that thing you said is called the Google. I could learn. Wait, that's dispel magic. Hold on, I need detect magic. Detect. I say this as I look through my Scout's manual. Bard cleric, yeah. So I could, if I take a little snoozer or, whatever, I could use this detect magic spell.
I'm presuming all of that was previously out of character because you're standing there next to Zach, but
Oh, that's right. They're whispering. Sorry.
yeah.
Never mind. I take that back.
But it is now common knowledge that you could learn it, and Zach is seemingly content on the combination of jalapeno poppers and turkey. Oh, that's really good together. Nice crunch, crisp, cheese.
I kind of step off the bar stool and walk towards Zach. Kind of just infer, like, you seem to know a great deal about hell.
Well, I've been here for a while, and I was rather intrigued by its setup. It doesn't seem happenstantial if you know where to look.
It is,
and
it's
right
funny you
people
say
to talk
that,
to.
because we know a decent amount about you as well, as it happens.
And there's a bit of a blush in
Oh,
his
we,
cheeks before he says,
as we mentioned
"Oh,
before, we met,
do tell."
we've met your sisters.
Oh, both of the sisters,
Not,
and you survived a
not without its
Maleficium encounter.
discomforts, and I remember
Lucky you.
the vomiting of bugs that I had to endure in those marshlands. But then I kind of like shake that off and refocus on Zach. Like in meeting with your sisters, we've come to learn of your little light, we'll call it, a little love triangle with certain dwarf.
Oh, that dwarf.
He
That's asshole, rather.
we were just kind of wondering or hoping to perhaps get your side of the story.
Well, as it goes, anyhow. Yovraten, or Yovra, was a strapping lad here. And before Groveton over there, and she points to him who is doing the ledgers, and he goes, eh. And he keeps writing at his ledgers. Was sitting in that seat. Yovra was. But Yovra has gone since retired and has just decided that he would like to traverse the levels of hell rather than going and or being stuck to this one. He was a rather energetic, we'll say, individual, and why he'd captured my attention. He's actually also no longer here on this level of hell. Well, and also, I have to say I'm quite disappointed of such, because I thought that we were getting somewhere when I found his sexual persuasion. And he gestures to himself. It's not exactly the not of the feminine wiles, we'll say. And I used to not look so much like this. And I'd changed myself to not only appease him, but search my own path. And I don't think that he was as interested in me as I thought he would be with my plight towards his love. But I'm not sure why I'm telling you all of this so upfront and blatantly, but you seem like true enough folk.
I take a chair next to them, and I kind of like lean down, and I'm just like, I understand your pain, and I'm very sorry for you. But are you happy with the person that you are today?
Oh, with no doubt. It is the path that I chose, and would not remake any of the decisions that I would have. You know, it's who I am. But it is hard for others to see that.
I think I know what you mean. I believe I heard some sadness in your sister's voice when she talked about who you had become.
Yeah, they don't quite understand what it means to take hard decisions in life and different paths in some cases. I know that they had sought power, but they weren't too interested on themselves and searching into deeper within. And I think that's limited them. But, that's neither here nor there.
So your sisters have never had to make hard decisions? They've just had it easy?
They have, in the way of giving up certain things in their other lives, but nothing so drastic as what I've experienced, I would say.
How did your sister meet the dwarf?
I believe you're talking of Maleficium, or
I am.
because Zasfira has never had any real interest. Maleficium had met him while he was exploring this level of hell more in-depthly, and I believe the story went that she'd seen him best a giant croc with his bare hands, ripping its face in two. Is what she told me, anyways. And then they made love on its dead corpse or some shit like that. I don't know. It's not real into all of that.
That must have been difficult to
Wow.
hear.
I mean, if you're not
Well-
swayed by gator murder, what are you swayed by?
At the time, I was quite brazen, and I'd left the coven at hearing those words.
Oh. So, did your sister do that out of like maliciousness? Like, did she know?
I
Bless you.
honestly couldn't tell you. I never really took that much interest in her intent, as she knew that I had interest and had been making pursuits on Yovra, but did not think much of it about it when she'd seen him in
When was
such
the
a
last
manner.
time you seen?
I would guess,
Okay.
yes, that was the last time that I'd seen Maleficium. And I would guess that they were more acting on instinct rather than any malicious intent, but
Wait, they were acting on instinct instead of malicious intent? Was this dwarf, and I say it as offendedly as I can, was this dwarf a temptress?
I would have to confess that we were never explicit in that we were exclusive or anything, and Yovra is one hard asshole to
Franklin,
pin
don't
down.
do it, Franklin. No.
Fat
What?
turtle.
Ah!
So this sounds like such a messy situation. And your sister
You
kinda
like to
sounds like
see
an
this
asshole.
resolve itself. Yeah.
I mean, I feel fairly well resolved. Personally, I'm quite content to spend whatever time this is, or not. I'm not sure how time works here, but it seems to be circular in my opinion. And eventually I'll either be reborn or I don't know. I really haven't mulled the theological perspective on this matter. I just enjoy my drink and my bird here. And sometimes I'll go out and catalog some new plants and animals or such.
I see. Would you want to leave here? Like, if you had the option?
Well, what do you mean by here? The ale house? I leave quite regularly.
No, like this level of hell. Hopefully, hell in general, right? That's the goal. I
It
turn to
would-
the others. Is that
Yes,
what we're doing?
eventually.
Yes, I would say that is an
Yeah.
overall goal.
Manipulus would have chimed in through your guys' torques, excluding Flint's in this particular case, I guess, but saying, "And to rescue me from the depths of hell."
Oh my god, who's that?
Yes. But I'm assuming that rescuing you will free us from hell as well. I kind
Yeah.
of thought those two things were intertwined.
Great.
At this point, you're pretty much stuck with me. Yep.
Ah,
Got
so
it.
you're like an STD.
It sounds so
Free the
simple
big
when
man
you put
down
it that
low and we'll
way.
get out of here.
I get that.
And Zach,
Does anyone have a moving cottage we could use or carriage? Like moving van carriage.
eyes,
I'll see myself out.
eyebrows go up, real high, and go, "What the hell was that?"
We've seen and heard some things, my friend.
was-
Best.
Yes,
Wait.
but there was a voice coming from around your necks.
Oh, so that was
Ah.
loud enough for them to hear. That's a friend of ours who we're just looking to bust out of here.
Oh, okay. Some sort of communication. That's okay. Interesting one I hadn't seen before. Well, to answer your question, it would be great to get out of hell, but
Let's go.
that's not exactly the easiest task that it sounds. I mean,
What
the
if we wait
dwarves
until
still
the
hold
Arithmetic
the
Jurassic get out?
What?
dwarves still hold a key, and as far as I've heard, Maleficium holds 2 of the keys, and she's not willing to share those with me, let alone Cesarilla holding the final key.
Turn to the others. I'll leave it to you guys to determine how much we want to say or not. Franklin doesn't know.
Yeah, so how much do we reveal? I lean in.
Double
Eh.
time.
I lean into Jack. And I whisper, I'm like, what if I could tell you that we could fairly easily get the dwarf key? And then would you come with us back to your sister's huts so that we may all use the keys to open that very large gate? And I'm whispering this so that like the rest of the room doesn't like hear us. And I'm trying to be
She's
as
saying-
like persuasive as possible.
She's
like,
saying
yeah,
this.
we can
I'm
get
like
it real
sliding
easy,
into
don't
the
you
chair
worry.
and kind of like
We
leaning
have our
into the
ways.
table, like closer and closer. Yes.
We're all just like, yeah.
Go
we
ahead
can get
and
that key, don't worry.
go ahead and roll me a persuasion.
$24.
Dun dun dun.
Very nice. Um, he would probably at least somewhat buy that. None of the other dwarves in the bar seem to respond, but you do see a small hesitation before he responds with, "Are you suggesting we shiest the keys from my sisters?"
I was more hoping along the lines that we could convince them to use their keys for us to escape, but do you think they would double cross us if we just brought them along?
Sarsaparilla, by no means. If she's made some sort of deal with you, she would stick true to it. Maleficium, on the other hand, well, like her name entails, she's likely to fuck you.
Do we tell her?
Hmm.
Like, Sarsaparilla wants you to make peace?
See, that's the thing. Do we just say like,
Insight check.
All right, good.
I have a +6. This is something I could do, guys. Hopefully. I say before I roll it. Oh, 16. Okay.
What are you inciting here? I mean,
As she says, are you suggesting we like shiest my sisters?
Mhm.
I'm trying to gauge her interest in that. Like, is she like throwing it out there as like a bait and trap, or is she like actually contemplating it? That kind of thing.
You can tell that he is rather excited by the idea, honestly. With the thought, at least, that he was going to come out with you guys, which is what was implied in that conversation.
yes.
So
And fuck the other sisters, essentially. Seemed excited by this particular matter.
got it. So he seems down to
Yep.
pound. All right. I will like kind of interject into the conversation and make direct eye contact with the others, and attempt to very stealthily nod to them, fail, and just nod directly at them, and say, "Well, you seem pretty interested. Here's at least," I glance at them again, "what I understand. We were told that one of the sisters, right? Is it Maleficium or no? She had the first house. They want to get the three of you back together again. And if we can, then we'll be able. Sarsaparilla. That's a pop, isn't it? That's a. Anyway, she said that we could have a key if we could mend the three of your relationships.
Oh.
And
Perhaps
now,
then we could take her along with the presumption, at least, that you could actually convince her that I am part of the coven again, though that might be a hard sell. Although
I mean,
getting
I
us...
feel like you would have to convince her, right? Because
Yeah.
it's you she wants to be like part of their group again.
Yeah.
But
Well, yes,
if
Sarsaparilla,
Sarsaparilla wants the coven to be rejoined, whereas
But-
Maleficium just wants Sarsarilla's key.
but Maleficium does not want any part of us anymore. That is the
Sure.
that is the problem that I'm foreseeing there with that particular approach. I don't know what I could say at this point that would convince her otherwise.
I think. Well, could you convince Sarsaparilla? Could you convince her that your third sister is irredeemable? Because then it's all of us with the key that you have and any others we might be able to get, versus just the one sister. If it came to that, not saying I would, like sister against sis, brother, sister. That's never a great situation.
sibling.
But
No.
you seem
Fighting
interested
siblings is
in
never a good
escaping this
idea.
place. So I'm just spitballing.
And the thing that I would like to point out with your argument, we'll put it that way, is that you're foregoing the request. I think it was that the lady here had said was my sister Sasrilla's request of getting the coven.
What if we
Yeah,
could-
all
Yeah.
three of the
What if-
yeah, that's right. Shit. I mean, sorry. Pardon my
Oh.
French.
I do have a question. You mentioned stealing the keys from your sister. Do you know how that could be brought about?
I
think
was
this would be
hoping
an-
some of that could be infilled by you all here, assuming you had made some sort of headway, one way or the other, with them, as they've never really let me know where they had hidden the keys, and as it stands, the key that was shared amongst us was the keys that were shared amongst each other here. One of mine was given to the dwarves as a peacekeeping, as we'd held 3 of the 4. Before the Ettins are the first to enter this portion of hell. And so, in an effort to soothe the dwarves that, are undying, rather than fighting an ever-ending war with them, we decided that it was fair enough to give them a key. And it just so happened it was my key. Of course, me making the most amends usually anyhow amongst the sisters. I think that's what's driven the biggest wedge amongst us at any point, is that I no longer was willing to give, and both sisters, although Sassurilla is nice and gives all willy-nilly of anything else, when it comes to power, not so much.
Yeah, so when we had our conversation with Maleficium, we had tried to suss out where she might have had her keys, but she just said that they were hidden. If I'm remembering that correctly, because I don't have anything written down saying
Yeah.
that she revealed where her keys were.
Yep. Neither of them did.
Okay. Yeah, because we just agreed, like, yeah, we're totally gonna do this thing to help you,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
because it seemed like the easiest path. And now it's a pain in the butt. What did this dwarf look like?
Yovra was probably one of the
You said
beefiest
he's not on
lads
this
I've
level
ever
of hell
seen.
anymore?
A beefy lad. Got it.
Yeah, somehow he'd struck a deal at the
Without the
Acropolis
keys.
without the keys. Not so sure how he managed that one.
Oh, so there's more than one way out of this plane, but we need to unlock
Okay.
this plane. We need those stupid keys.
Is there any way that we could make the keys?
Yeah, are they all different? Have you seen these keys?
Oh, I have seen them in the varying proportions. The Ettin's key, I believe, is what Maleficium, besides her own key, is acquired, is the largest of them all. And it actually has 2 heads to the front of the key. It's kind of odd. Hadn't seen any of them used necessarily, but there are only 4 holes, so I'm not quite sure how that one would work. Who knows? As for Maleficium's key, it was dark, like her heart, I would assume, and cracking with light almost all the way through it. And the Sasrilla's key is almost sweet to the touch. I don't know how else to describe it other than that it is sickeningly pink.
Sickeningly pink. Are we talking
And
Barbie pink or Pepto pink?
and the dwarf's key, I actually held myself, as you know, and it seems to take on the will of the beholder
Strange.
as much as anything else.
The will
this
of
beholder?
the beholder?
Yes, the one that holds it. At least that was the words that came to mind when I thought of it.
Okay, not like. Got it. The will of the one who holds it. Got it. A two-headed key. Wait, that's weird. I have a two-headed baby. Can we use the baby as a key?
I was going to suggest that.
Ash,
Maybe the baby is the key.
Wait.
Ash, you've already
Could
slammed
open
it
my
on the
baby. Did she
dock.
put anything inside of it? I wasn't there.
Or did she take something out?
Said Ash, you already slammed the baby on the dock. I think it's had
What is
enough.
it?
Probably. Is
I
it,
shouldn't shove its
mean,
head into a giant keyhole.
Possibly, maybe.
Are you saying
yes.
this is bad mothering?
Well, how dare you
Forgive me.
accuse her of that?
So,
I challenge you to a duel, sir.
Oh,
what are we being proposed here?
Well, if there's a way to steal these keys, I would love to try it. But in order to steal the keys, we have to know where they are.
Yes, that is generally how stealing stuff works.
And we weren't able to figure out where they were, and you don't have any idea of where they were.
Man, these
And
are
we're-
good jalapeno poppers, though.
I really good. Here's two more.
I'll reach
Here's
out and
another
grab
batch.
one
For you,
without
sir.
like saying or looking
Oh,
at
thank
anyone. Thank you. You don't really want to duel, do you?
You're welcome.
Okay,
No,
cool.
of
Yeah,
course
we're-
not. I
we're
don't
good
want to
then.
hurt
We're good.
you. We're friends, right?
So,
Noted.
Zach, we'll be
Um,
perfectly honest with you. We need these keys.
Well, I can understand that. I mean, if I think, by at least what you're telling me now, that it would be a hard sell, but I could probably pretend to make up with Maleficium. Although it's probably going to ensue a fight. I'm not sure one that I could survive without some help.
Well,
I do think that maybe you pretending to make up would be like
Kinda-
a
kinda
very
think
good
it's our
route, but I
best.
don't. Can your sister be seduced?
Seduced? Well,
Maleficium.
Maleficium. That'd be a little bit more easy of a seduction. How do you mean, though? Do you mean the ever so lovely, forever and ever love? That's not something she has in her heart at all. But if you mean the 5-second, sucky sucky lovey lovey $5.
For some reason, I
kinda
don't
love, then
understand.
yeah.
I understand that reference.
What?
I was just thinking because she was so taken by Yovra for killing a crocodile with his bare hands, would she reveal her keys to a lover?
Reveal her keys to perhaps. You know, that might not be the worst route. Although she might reveal them, she would probably have high protections on them, whatever their revelation is, if that's something you wish to do as a backup plan. Is that what you're thinking there? Because maybe seduce her first by a lover, get the location of her keys, and if our plan doesn't work, then sneak in the night kind of deals.
Yes, I think having a couple of plans in place, because I feel like your sister might try to screw us no matter what. So if we could have plans in place to screw her
this-
in just such a
I think the
situation,
seduction plan
I would feel
first
a
is a good
whole
idea.
lot better. And
We can fall back on the
Go ahead.
pretending to make up and reconcile, even if that doesn't work.
More as starting that early so that there's an insurance plan, almost. I see your point there, Blue One.
So how would your sister feel if Yovra came back to her?
Yovra? Probably rip him limb from limb.
So you
Okay,
both are
let's-
angry
Rejecting
at
her.
him.
Oh, right, he's a dick, I forgot.
Oh yes, he rejected us both.
So we could unite them in hate.
That's what I was saying.
I don't. I'm not exactly the hateful sort. It's more so that there were words that were said, and after leaving the coven, and my sister's insult to me, it was more her insult than
The
his
vengeance
insult,
against
if
the
you
dwarf
understand.
is not an
Ah.
option.
So you gotta get.
I
Like,
not so
I
much anymore,
grunted
especially since
disappointment
he's no
because that's
longer in
the
this
route
pot
I
of
really
hell.
wanted to take.
Damn. Mm-hmm.
Perhaps we can find him in a later part, and I'm not sure what you thought, but perhaps we can do whatever that was to him. Because I'm quite sure that I called dibs on his testiculars.
Okay, got it. We'll save you his
To like keep.
family jewels.
Oh, I can do quite a
So
lot of
who-
things with those.
Who wants to seduce
Okay, so yeah, I'm really
Malfikium?
drawing a blank about what to do. But
Well, I can tell
Keep
you
me
it won't be
invited.
me.
What's her type?
Strong, burly lads that have an air of power about them that she can use.
I have an air of power about me. I'm a child. Never mind.
we could make this work really well if we could find one of those strong burly lads and let Bob take him for a spin. And then that
There
way,
were-
if he does get ripped limb from limb, Bob will just come back to me.
What about the Attons?
Oh,
Oh.
he's
They're strong and burly.
rather smitten with using them and abusing them, for sure. But she also is aware that they don't have much in the way of intelligence, especially when it comes to magic swords.
Fun to drink
she
with, though.
probably wouldn't share the keys location with an Etten.
Hmm.
I can attest to
Right.
that.
I suppose I'm big
Oh
and
boy.
strong. Is she into
bah.
dragon?
That might do it, but it's a little odd for her tastes. I would think she's usually into. Well, I mean, I can't say that for sure. She's been around for a long time. Her tastes have probably altered in some manner. And not to mention, she's probably got some sort of attention span when it comes to those sorts of things, you know. Like I said, sucky sucky, $5, lovey lovey.
So we need a hoe. We need a burly, strong man whore.
That sounds about right. When she was alive, she did frequent the brothels.
I'm gonna kind of stare at Thomas.
Interesting.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna kind of stare at him.
Thomas is kind of a man whore. What about Flint?
Want nothing to do with that witchcraftery.
You don't even want to bone it?
I'd rather kill it.
Warren?
You still there?
Probably zoned out.
What?
Hey.
Yep. He was pooping.
Sorry, I zoned out.
I was checking to see if you wanted to
Called it.
seduce a witch.
Do you want to sleep with the witch?
Sweet. I really didn't want to be the one to have to do that. That sounded. That sounds like trouble.
I love the enthusiasm. Sure, I'll try. Was Warren
So I kind
there
of
with the initial meeting
tap
when she
Zach on
opened
the
up?
shoulder,
Okay.
like avert his gaze over to Thomas. Like, do you think he'll do?
Hey, babe.
And
Mhm.
Zach looks Thomas up and down. Goes, well, you're a little flamboyant, at least. Do you have any muscles under that getup? Or do you have some sort of, I don't know, key strength that might entail her?
Oh, don't let his modesty fool
interest
you.
her in you?
I've seen him
pretty strong.
perform feats of strength you wouldn't believe. He saved me from a mound monster.
A giant clod of dirt.
He started to fall.
Oh.
Oh, and I think. Oh,
She get you?
no, I think she farted.
Oh,
It stinks so bad.
You scared her. You scared her until she farted.
Oh, it smells like wet cat food, like rotten wet cat food.
She's old. She's getting stinkier with age.
She's sitting on my lap and she adjusted and she started to fall off and just.
Can control it.
She looks so fucking annoyed too. Like, how dare you mock me, humans?
Well, the situation is so provided, I think that Thomas could work. You're just going to have to prove to her her want of interest.
All right.
Oh,
You sound so prepared.
I am quite drunk
yeah,
at the
I'm
moment.
feeling this.
Perfect. That means you're
All right,
so much more
back
charismatic.
To witch number 1. Or do we want to stay at the bar, grab some food?
Well, that's true. Let's see.
I mean, how well are you at seducing? Do you need a little crash course?
Is she in the bondage?
Oh, well, I mean, the power play move is probably a good one. Who are you bonding yourself though? Because, well, no, I haven't inquired that deeply into her sexual endeavors, but that might work in your favor. Not sure who's binding who, but
I just want to point out, I do have the option to be able to cast a Het's ability if you are lacking in the Constitution department.
Doodaloo.
Understood.
Nice.
Would she be interested in a magic trick?
probably not. She has quite a lot of those. She's quite magical. I'm sure you're.
Sorry, that was
presume.
just a bit of an inside joke.
Oh, apologies. Yes, I was not in on that joke.
I'll lean over to Warren like, when time comes, just let me know.
I was gonna say, if you get the whole like show going and you get her all bonded up, that might be the perfect time for us to sneak in and grab the goods and sneak out.
Got rope you can use.
I got some slightly stronger than normal rope from stealing that backpack.
You did.
Wow.
Slightly stronger than normal sounds impressive.
Strong enough to hold a witch?
I think it's unbreakable.
So
Technically.
sneak in.
Oh, okay.
Well, not sneak in.
Unbreakable.
Seduce. Tie her up. Get in. Find the keys. Get out.
And then have your way with her, or I guess leave her tied up and let her be pissed off. No, I don't know. if
We've
that
still
will
got to
work.
deal with Sasrilla after the
Yeah.
fact, which ultimately is where I'm seeing this plan be slightly flawed, in my opinion. We've got to make it appear to her that I and Maleficium have.
Well, there's Bob.
Well, there is a
We-
crocodile down there that you're gesturing towards. I'm not.
Yeah,
just got there
this is
too.
Bob.
I was just thinking that.
Bob could become Maleficium.
Mm,
He looks down at the crocodile, then looks back up at Ash and goes, "Well, couldn't you become Maleficium? I was thinking."
I could. I definitely could pose as Maleficium.
That might
And-
be our better bet, only because I'm not sure how a crocodile helps us in obtaining Maleficium's form, but I know
Bob's special.
from your eyes and your hair coloration and my studies that you are a changeling. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Nope, that is correct. I am a changeling, and I could definitely take on her form.
It might be our best bet. Get Maleficium's keys, and then, while she's still preoccupied, convince Sasrilla that we have all made up.
Well, if we go about that route where I pose as Maleficium
What do we do with your
to
real
Sasrilla,
Maleficium?
okay, yeah. So if I pose as Maleficium to Sasrilla and say, "Hey, we've made up, we've settled our differences, and we're ready to be a coven again," and then I'm like, "All right, you should grab your keys and go to the gate, and then we will meet you there, and then we could run over to Maleficium's hut, and I could be Sasrilla." And be like, I have my key. I, Sassarilla, have my key, and I'm going to the gate, and we'll meet you there. And with our new friends here, we all shall escape. And then she shows up there. And we just get them all there to just put their keys in the holes and unlock the gate.
No seduction required.
No seduction required. No stealing required. We just trick them. I just pretend to be both of them, but not at the same time and not together until we get them all at the gate. And we're like, all right, put your keys in. We're so glad that you're all happy. Yay!
Well, that might actually work. You know?
Yeah, because we could even when we go to Maleficium and I'm posing as Sassarilla, be like, listen, I will only share my key if you make up with our sister. And she might be willing to be like, okay, I'll make up with the sister because I really want the key.
Risk we may have to take.
But that's a might.
I like this plan.
If we can get out of here, then it's no longer our problem.
True.
Are you then going to go over to Maleficium's hut now, or I don't think she'd be so amicable to other visitors. I mean, if you're going by yourself, that's what I'm questioning here right now. Or is this what we're deciding?
Yeah, I think maybe
What if we were
should,
his
like,
hype crew?
I was gonna say I think we should decide that now. Should we go to Sassarilla first and pose as Maleficium, saying that hey, we've made up our differences, and then go to Maleficium and be like, hey, I'll only share this key with you, and if you make up with you, Zach.
Yep.
If
No,
Maleficium makes
absolutely.
up with Zach. Am I making sense? Am I
Boy.
explaining this well?
Yes,
I
yes.
feel like we could all solve this by all just sitting down in one room, you know?
Probably, if, and it sounds like your friend here has decided on the room. The thing is, we should time it appropriately, and
Uh-huh.
I am of the mind, anyhow, that if we go to Maleficium first, she will not try to confer with Sassarilla, and she will just show up at an appropriate time. And Sassarilla, given a shorter time frame, would be best so that she has no time to go and confer with her sister.
Oh,
So
an
then-
emergency. It's a crisis. We have to go now.
Yes, because Sassarilla, being more calm and not only calculated but also just chill, I'm sure you understand. She would think of those sorts of things, whereas Maleficium, being who she is, would not consider that her sister has been cloned or what words. Changelinged? Is that a verb?
I mean, it can be now, but I think I just transform into them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I need that definition. Where is that?
I think I'm going
Take out you look like them, but you can gain or add up to 1 foot, if I remember correctly, from when I played
Alrighty.
a changeling.
Why would looking like them but adding a foot make it better?
If you are 3 feet tall and try to impersonate someone 7 feet tall, there will be obvious.
I was making having an extra like joke.
Oh.
When I transform, and I'm 4 feet tall, by the way. When I transform,
Thank you very much.
I'm 4 feet tall, Mr. Turtle. when I transform, I will look like them in every way. I can transform into any 2-legged humanoid, like 100%.
Gotcha.
Whether they're 8 feet tall or 2 feet tall.
Oh, that's sick.
I think I'm gonna get off now. I'm
Alrighty.
kind of like dozing off at my computer.
It is pretty late. It's almost 10.
We'll
and
probably
I
decide
feel
on
like
it
we're
and
not
call it
going
a
to get
night.
any of this plan implemented tonight.
Oh.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's the best bet.
So, I think that is also the best bet. We can have an afternoon lunch here and then call it. And you then, simplistically, so that we're all confirmed on the plan here, Ash will go as
Sarsaparilla.
Sarsaparilla to Maleficiums, then to
Right.
no,
Right.
to Maleficiums as Sarsaparilla, and then go to Sarsaparilla as Maleficium.
Gesundheit.
Yes.
Maleficium first as
Yes.
sarsaparilla. As sarsaparilla.
As root beer.
I just show up as a 2-liter.
As root beer.
Wow.
Oh.
I mean, she is a horny lady, it sounds like.
So we have a plan.
Way to call her out, babe. Jesus.
Ha I'm allowed.
I think I'm going to start drinking.
Yes. Kind of a plan.
Ash, always looking out.
Way
Good
ahead
call.
of you.
Be sure to fill up your flasks.
Turn
We
back
might
to the
need it.
bartender and order another drink.
Another mug floats up on top of the counter, fills up with the frothy orange liquid.
Okay, so
Yes.
turn into Maleficium, go visit,
Yes.
or turn into Sarsaparilla and go to Maleficium's first, and convince her to meet us at the gate with her keys
At a specific time.
at a specific time.
Then on
In place.
the sarsaparillas.
And then go to Sarsarilla's as Maleficium and convince her that we have made up. And then we're gonna go to the gate and we're all gonna leave.
Hopefully you. Yeah, we should probably have a backup plan.
Yeah, what happens if all three of these witches are just like, all right, well, now we just kill you?
Yeah, see, that's what I'm thinking too. I'm like, if we get to the gate, this is metagaming. I'm not saying this out loud as my character. If we get to the gate, I can see them all just being like, you know what? Let's escape and leave these bitches here.
That's why Bob becoming Maleficium. That's the ace up your sleeve.
Yeah, well, Bob can only take over a willing or weak-willed
So
creature.
drunk or
Yeah.
drugged.
Or charmed. I charmed
Or
a troll
charmed.
once.
Night.
All right. Well, I'm heading off to bed, guys.
All right, good night.
Bye.
Yep.
So, good plan, I think, more or less. The
It only took 3 sessions to come up with.
hey, it was technically only 2 after meeting the third sister. Well, the second sister. Sorry, you
complicated
technically
problem to
met the
figure
third
out.
sister a couple times.
It's a complicated
Yeah.
It's a
problem to figure out,
struggle.
too.
Is a slow moving game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing is like when you're talking
Yeah.
about a slow moving game, it's not the game. It's just the problems are hard.
Yeah, for sure. That's not what I meant by that. That's just like it's just not one of those games where like
Right.
you walk into the thing, you begin fight. It's actually you have to think about how to solve the problem.
Yeah.
Which I try to limit, but this is the first one in a while, so
Right.
especially in this campaign. Usually it's just like fight this thing. Okay, you run into another thing. Fight that.
Oh
thing.
yeah,
Yep.
the different approach has been fun.
But no, I'm enjoying it.
Good.
Yeah. Problem solving I like.
I must shoot
Murder.
things.
I know he's just
I know.
sitting over there like, oh, we're talking and nothing's being shot at.
Which I understand.
Right.
There will
Yeah.
be shooting at one way or
Next
another.
time on
eventually.
Manipulis.
Uh oh. Foreshadowing.
I'm not a talker. I'm a shooter.
Who's getting shot?
All of the Shadow Seekers are shot by Johnny. I mean, Flint.
Again.
Again.
Oh shit! I hit him. Ting.
Damn
rewind.
it, Flint.
Fuck! I hit him again. Ting. Rewind.
How many
Aim before
charges
you
does this thing
fire.
have?
We're gonna find out.
Yeah, Matt, if you haven't looked into flights for the next one, you do that on Halloween for our next in-person one.
Yeah, I got to do that. I turned in my set last week, so I have time to do this kind of thing now. So I'll
Nice.
take a peek this weekend.
Should we start looking for like Airbnbs or places to stay?
Oh yeah, yeah. That's gonna be up on my list here shortly. I know that I've also made sure that I got the next one shot scheduled with you, Jesse. There, I put it out for everyone to see. We don't know what it is yet. I think that's gonna be the fun of it. Just make sure you have your own characters. We're cool with.
Does that
you're cool
include
with
the,
all the inventory we
the
all
characters
have, right,
we've made of ourselves?
Yep.
Cool.
Oh man.
Okay.
You don't have to show up with everybody. You just need one
Okay.
character, and it can be a character that you are already playing. It does not need to be a brand new character. And I think it would be better and could maybe fit. I'm thinking that
Yeah, 'cause I
what
only
I have in
have
mind could
Ruvik
fit
other than
into
the
the storylines that
character
we
we
have now,
made
and maybe an
for-
odd
Oh, yeah.
way.
Eurythmic veracity, so I was just checking.
So yeah, that was the other question there. I don't know if that was copacetic with you or not, but is playing as themselves. Is
No,
that an
playing as
option?
their characters. We don't need themselves.
Okay. Would they be able to though play as themselves?
Yeah,
I don't know
I
if
think
anyone
in the-
would want to.
yeah, I don't know if anybody would want to, but in the way
Okay.
that I have set the
Okay.
situation up, you could come in as any of your characters or as yourself.
Come as you are.
Cool. Good to know. I'll make sure to note that in the chat too, because I think a few other people will be interested in that insight.
And I kind of figured that you would just show up as your squirrel character.
Yeah, probably. I do like Etrakira.
If you wanted to make a new character, you could. You could. I'm not saying you have to show up as your squirrel character. That was just what I was picturing in my mind in this setting that I have. And I'm like, there's going to be a squirrel. There's just going to be a mad squirrel running around.
Yeah, I like Etrakira. The other characters that I have that are just on hand, I can make stuff pretty quick, but character wise, but and I don't know if this plays in anything that you're doing, but it is a plasmoid, which is like a human-sized single-cell organism creature, and a
Plasmoid. Are you that? I can't remember what that movie is, but the white
yeah.
blood cell that's walking around with the cold medicine pill inside of Frank's body.
Osmosis Jones.
Yeah.
Basically, except less human-like even than that, because I can choose whether or not to have limbs. As a race, they generally try to make other humanoids feel comfortable. But
Well, how considerate.
yeah. But the only other one that I have, I think that I'm quite familiar with, is a gnome artificer, and the plasmoid's a monk.
Either of those would work, or any of
Okay.
those would work.
I'll probably still be the squirrel just to keep it consistent for this world, because
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't
Well-
know if Gab's campaign was taking place on Taroth or on another realm.
So I guess the best way that I've thought of this, and this is some insider insight, I guess, is that. And Matt, you would know this actually too, Jesse, because I think you know a little bit of Brandon Sanderson's universal thought process when he's creating all of his books. Of that, like, technically, all of his books and writings are in the same, like,
Universe.
base. Yeah, whether or not it be a universe or it has to. You would think they would have to be the same universe, right? Like, can't be multi-universal because that space is just too large. Anywho, so like these different, if they have to happen on a different planet, that's no big deal. Which is what I think of when I think of different planes of existence. Like if there's a different plane of existence, like the Fey realm where Gab was, that was probably another planet that has different rules.
Well, in Brandon Sanderson's work, they eat. Okay, so he has planets, and then he also has realms, because
Mhm.
there is. I can't remember the technical name, but it's a spirit realm.
Cognitive, spiritual,
Yeah, he has
and
a
the
spirit realm and a third one.
isn't it? It's cognitive, spiritual, and the material realm, isn't it?
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Explained in the Shard series, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I kind of remember that after you say it now. And those are potential places, more so like hell and heaven in my mind, but which makes sense to his kind of connections there too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was actually something that Balkna Aerate, the other Josh, that brought up, was like, oh, so if the evil campaign's in hell, is the good campaign in heaven? I'm like, no. And that's an interesting thought. Hadn't really made that connection.
Welcome to the good place.
That was an excellent show.
It was.
All right, guys. I think it's time for me to get some food.
Highly recommend.
I'm always eating, Josh. I had dinner. I need.
Yeah.
You haven't
more
eaten
food.
yet?
Yeah, I'm one of those guys,
Oh, okay.
and I'm not even
Second dinner.
not
Gotcha.
even ashamed.
That's fair.
It's almost time for 11sies.
Yeah, good session, guys. We've got
Hey,
Nope.
we've got a
Nope.
plan, which is nice because this is a tricky one.
Yep.
I actually think this is the most like
Yeah, I'm very excited to see how
intricate
this plays out. But yeah, we have a
problem
plan.
we're about to
ready
try to
to go.
solve since I joined you guys. Because it like, yeah, because there's
Yeah.
yeah,
Especially for the evil campaign.
Yeah, I was gonna say in the evil campaign, this
Right.
is probably the most intricate
right.
thing we've
Because
run
yeah, it's
into.
been
I think the only other thing was a
crazy
door that we
battles, but,
refused
yeah,
to be told wouldn't open.
problems. This is new level of problem solving for me. So this is fun.
Oh wait. Is there any way we can use that secret keyhole room to our benefit in this situation?
Mm.
Consider.
And that
I don't
place
know.
was fully thought up on the spot, as well
Yeah, I
as
know.
most
That's
of
the
these
best
things are.
part.
Well, it's
even
gonna be
this whole
filled with a
situation.
key.
Sure, but like
Hey.
we could pull Maleficium in there, or
And then
Then
crush
she
her
pick-
with her own key.
I'm not sure. If
Yeah.
not sure
It'd
if
be,
Seskia would-
My philosophy.
or like we could trap her in there.
philosophy for the
Yeah.
whole thing
Yeah.
of whenever you ask, can we do it, is always fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, pretty much. I was gonna say something's gonna happen on the spot,
is
and
the
one of
way.
us is gonna react, and shit's
All right,
gonna
guys.
fly.
This is
Have
the
a
way.
good night. See you guys in a couple weeks.
All right. I'm also
Later.
going to go. I will catch you
Alrighty.
guys later.
All right.
good night. Yep.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.
A grand and wonderful thank you for those who took the time and made it here, to the end of the episode, where I know sometimes we are long-winded and others we are just dead silent. I don't know what to tell you. This is raw here, folks. Please remember to like and subscribe, and you can help support us just by listening. But you can also provide even more support, if you like, by going to Anchor FM page and following the support link there. If you do so, I will personally work in an NPC or an idea, whatever you'd like to hear played out. If you want, you can get a hold of us through one of our many options, including voice messages on Anchor FM, or DM to our Twitter, or any other social media that you can find us, YouTube, etc. You can share your ideas, otherwise listen for the shout out and thank you for making it through.